What is shaking, YouTube? Welcome, everybody. Good to be back. Had some internet issues. Hopefully they're all settled out now. This is my first stream. Let's see if we can make this happen without any technical difficulties. So let's get into this straight away. Yep, the Powell effect. Good old Big Daddy Powell making headlines again by doing absolutely nothing. That's right. Gets paid a ton of money to do absolutely nothing. So pretty weird, man. I don't know how many times I can listen to that guy talk about resilience, the market, resilient economy, robust this and that, and does absolutely nothing. So kind of falling behind a little bit. The US is. Everybody is cutting taxes or rates, I should say. Yeah, nothing. We need more data. So let's see how deep this is going to go. Now, Bitcoin is, you know, there are catastrophic news events that'll make Bitcoin go down. But as far as I can see, you know, I think we're okay so far. There's so much news and stories coming around. But here are our good old support and resistance levels. These are from a 4-hour chart. Right, and you can see this butterfly playing out slowly. We're just grinding up through these levels, right? So very nice. Here's the butterfly with our take profit target, next take profit target up there at 92K. Now, is that a certainty? Of course not. So if you're in along, make sure you take some profits along the way. So yeah, we've run into this resistance zone here, maybe come back and retest that, which would actually make quite a bit of sense. Let's just take a peek here at yesterday's daily profile, more or less. You notice here that Asia puts in the daily open and then it comes up and then it just went, right? So this might even be a zone that we come back to visit. Test yesterday's daily open would not surprise me at all. And we also have a potential 80% setup today. So let's see what happens with that. What's going on, Mr. Alexander? Good to see you, buddy. Welcome. But I'm still, you know, unless something catastrophic happens, this is the play still, right? So again, like I said in the last time I was here on YouTube, is that this could be a slow grind up here, right? We've got a lot of resistance to get through here. So just don't get too carried away with all the news and all the naysayers and all the yay sayers, you know, just watch it. You can trade this from level to level as we go up. Again, we do have that 80% setup here today. Potentially, doesn't mean it's going to happen. Let's just check out the session of volume profile real quick here. We've got some naked points of control below us. Well, one of them in particular, which is just above the yesterday's Asia high. So that's very interesting. Very, very interesting indeed. And it's also the previous days, which would be Tuesdays in this case, value area high. Now, interesting little thing here about the way that this business moves around. Let's just hide this for a second here. This hit here came perfectly, this hit here perfectly off of our initial balance range for the week. All right, so there is your Monday high. There is your Tuesday low, right, which would give us our initial balance for the week. All right, look at that. Price comes down, hits it perfectly after we close Wednesday in breakout of the initial balance. So that's a pretty bullish sign, right? Doesn't mean that we're not going to come back down into this zone, but we won't go for these lows this week for probabilistically speaking. So that's a good thing. And yeah, quite a hit there off of that. I mean, it's pretty much perfect. Just sweeps below it a tiny bit and then rips back up. And if we look at it on the 1 minute chart, you know, it's quite impressive. That is a great little reaction there off of that zone. So hopefully we take it to the upside here. Now we do have a absolutely massive selling tail right here. All right, so we've got to be careful with that. This is going to be a tough nut to crack, this zone. So you might want to mark that out on your charts. All right, big old tail here. Hopefully we take that out today. If we don't take that out today and tomorrow we go up and hit it, it will most likely act as a massive resistance. And we're in a massive resistance zone already. So yeah, that'll be a big reaction. Now, just because we react off of it doesn't mean we're going to 72K, pardon me, which I'm feeling less and less likely that we're going to go to 72 before we hit up around 90, 92-ish. And that's because everybody's talking about it now and everybody's kind of doom and gloomy, right? And this is the beauty of the Bitcoin. While markets are pretty much, I mean, look at the NASDAQ today. That is just ridiculous. But if we take a peek at the higher time frames here, that is a very big drop so far. I'm not sure it's over, and I would assume it's not yet. So we are definitely in a corrective phase as far as the legacy stocks go, all right? Legacy markets, sorry. So pretty nasty stuff. But again, we've got the same drill here on the NASDAQ. You see that yesterday we broke the initial balance, but then we came back in to the range, right? Which Bitcoin did not. Bitcoin closed in breakout yesterday. So very good sign. But still, I don't think the market is going to go much lower this week. But I do believe next week we could get some more downside. All right. So what we have here on the daily chart is your M formation. We've got level 1 here printing out, and hopefully we get a level 2 drop, and then things turn back around off of that. So pretty interesting to see if Bitcoin can muster the gas here, not necessarily to put in all-time highs, but just to finish off this butterfly pattern at least, and head up towards this 92 and hopefully up to around 95-ish, and take that out while the legacy markets are just bleeding, right? So that is the power of the Bitcoin. It does follow the market sometimes, and then sometimes it says, hold my beer, and it does its own thing, right? So pretty beautiful, I would say, and also kind of scary at this point, but fear not. The markets will turn back around. Let's see if data that's coming out in the next month or so, you know, that's the unfortunate part about waiting for Powell, is these guys seem to be waiting for the absolute catastrophe that is coming before they actually react. And to Powell's credit, which is hard for me to say, but he is really stuck between a rock and a hard place right now, because even if they reduce rates, I don't think the banks are really going to start going gung-ho like they did before this, because it's one thing to have cheap money and just give it to any Tom, Dick, or Harry when everything is looking good, right? But right now, nothing is really looking good. You've got a lot of speculation about the AI bubble about to burst. All right, if we look at pretty much any of the big boys, nothing's looking that great, including NVIDIA here. NVIDIA, big move to the downside, looking like it's starting to want to maybe turn it back around, but got to be careful with all of these big, nasty players. All right, Palantir, same thing. Oh, thank you, thanks, Marius. I'll hold your beer anytime, buddy. I might drink half of it, but I'll hold it. Thank you, sir. I'll take those NOK and put them in my NOK savings account for when I come to Norway. Yeah, so I mean, everything is looking down, right? One of my favorite stories right now is how the left wing is talking about the decline of Tesla. They're all happy about Tesla going down, the anti-Dogers. But everything is down huge, right? So not quite as huge as Tesla, but everything is down, right? So we're definitely in a corrective phase here in the market. And I believe Powell is going to have to cut rates, man, pretty soon. Like, you got to do it, buddy. You got to do something, because they're just sitting around doing nothing, right? Which is not really cool. You can't just print money. You got to get involved. So yeah, will be very interesting to see if Bitcoin can just keep ripping it up here. All right. All right, we're celebrating the third what is it? Let's celebrate the third super on a live stream. Woohoo! Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, Maris. Much appreciated. I'm supposed to, oh yeah, I don't know how to, I'm not sure how to celebrate that. I just celebrate by saying, yoo-hoo. I could do a little Michael Jackson scream if you want. Those are always fun. So yeah, that for me right now is really how I see this thing going. If Powell really doesn't start to act here, it's pretty doom and gloomy for the legacy markets. And even if he does, you know, it's not a guarantee that they're going to start lending money out, right? The banks are going to want certain sureties unless they get their marching orders from somewhere else, which is very rare. What's going on, Builder Bob? Good to see you, buddy. So for me right now, yeah, I'm just looking at, honestly, I'll get rid of this. Don't need that business in there. I'm really just looking at this level to level, all right, and really looking at the support resistance zones. You can see how well they've played out since we hit that bottom. They're quite on the ball. Yeah, so that's really it for that. The NASDAQ, what I would say about the NASDAQ is it's in a much tougher place here. You're really consolidating tightly now. And we do have a big dump here. Let's take a peek at what's going on here and look at that. Hit into previous day's Asia range, break back out of it, test the previous day's Asia high, and a big move. So always fun to see that sort of stuff. Not so much respect for Tuesday's level as far as New York opening range is concerned, but everything else gets some decent respect except for the Asia low. And then Mondays we have not gone down to challenge yet, but we might. You never know. So what I would be looking for today, honestly, is a pullback either into the previous day's point of control, but if I'm going to be looking to long that, I would need it to come incredibly aggressively and then get a very nice reaction off it. And you must be very weary of trading it, because if we do start closing our half-hour candles below this and kind of do it gently, then there's a big probability that we go all the way down. So it could be a potentially nice short, you know, depending on where we close. You're looking at about 2.77, 2.8%. And even if it's just to the point of control, 1.92%. So very nice, but all depends how it plays out, right? So be very careful with that. We've also got these, look at that hit off of that high volume node here, plus the initial balance of the week, right? So this is a level that could definitely hold, and Bitcoin could just continue the climb up here. We do have relatively clean price action on the way up here, right? Like they're not yesterday. I mean, it's incredible that this move happened and there were very few imbalances on the way up. And when they did happen, they got cleaned up really quickly. So pretty nice movement, I would have to say. Very clean, no imbalances. So we don't really have to go down there to do much. There's not much there for us. So we could just continue to the upside here. All right, so that is really it, man. Waiting for the butterfly to play out, okay? And the beauty of these things here is that instead of, you know, these big harmonic patterns don't show up all the time on the higher time frames, but when they do, it's just so nice to have this thought process, right? Is this a very bullish sign? No, it's a bullish harmonic pattern. And again, we're trading it up to C and then maybe A. Let's see how it plays out. But it's just kind of nice while everybody's losing their minds when we get to 83, 80, 81. Everybody starts talking about this is not good for Bitcoin, and we're going, and they're not really paying attention to the fact you're just putting in higher highs and higher lows and higher highs, and that's it. Now, if we're looking at this as a wave, all right, it'll give you a little more food for thought here. But this would have to be wave one so far. And wave two, let's see, sorry, 1, 2, and maybe wave 3. But it can't be because this has already come into here. So in terms of Elliott waves, this is completely non sequitur. It makes no sense, absolutely. So it would have to pump up quite a bit more and then get a pullback for us to see what's going on here. So it's just level to level, man. That's what I would say at this point. Pretty chilled out. On the NASDAQ, all right, we'll start looking at some key levels here. Yesterday's big gap got filled in quite aggressively. Price comes in, takes out the Monday low. Sorry, not the Monday low. The New York low from Monday, and reverses back up aggressively. And now it just dumped like mad. So London showing off its prowess today. That must be because people were making fun of London in the Discord yesterday. London also having a hold my beer moment. What'd you call us, mate? Look at that. Pretty brutal dump here. Now again, easy down, easy up. So this could be all recouped relatively quickly. And if London can get up relatively close to these Asia lows here before New York open, I could see us really getting up there. Yeah, see how New York feels about what's going on. The other big news is Trump is going to be speaking at the Crypto Summit 2025, which always great to hear what Donald has to say. So that could be, oh, I'm not supposed to say his name, I forgot. So that should be relatively interesting, and let's see if anything decent comes out of that man's mouth and how the markets react. But it should be pretty, I would say, a nothing burger out of that one. That's the way I would see it, honestly. What's going on, Joker? And hope you're doing well, buddy. So yeah, I would still love to see price come down a little bit lower on the NASDAQ, and I'd be really interested in getting on in there. And when price does come back up to this zone, I'd like to see what New York does. That old Donald Duck, Scrooge McDuck. Yeah. So let's see how this plays out. So New York will be very, very interesting. Yeah, and we'll get in there. We'll get in there for New York, checking it out. So yeah, a little bit less certain here on the NASDAQ, I would say. Really bearish. Take a quick peek here at our session volume profiles and close these bad boys out. Okay, so we've got the same story here on the NASDAQ too, right? This right there, your 30% setup, 80% setup, sorry, to go down to the value area low, but we are holding off of the naked point of control so far, and that's pretty much played out, right? And this was too aggressive for you to really get in there. So let's see how that goes. We also had a pretty bearish looking volume profile from yesterday, right? It's a pretty balanced day, but you've got a very low point of control. So that magnet has played itself out. And now let's see what we can do here. If we're going to build up a nice double distribution day, we do have a big chance here of this zone holding. And then if New York opens and we're way down here, you know, I could see it just taking a quick London high from this zone, grab a little liquidity, and then just a big move down. So we could see a trending day to the downside today, is what our volume profiles are telling us. You can fill out these zones here. Sorry, this zone down is just a big row of single prints, right? So as long as this holds, this could be pretty interesting. Get that on your half-hour chart. Throw up a box like that. There you are. Okay, so if we can keep a big row of single prints in New York pumps and then starts to dump, it could get really nasty, really nasty. And we're already down quite a bit today. So from the high, we're down 356 points, which is pretty much your average true range, right? Or your average daily range for the NASDAQ. So it really could go either way here. It could just start to eat up these single prints. Like I said, if we close close to, sorry, if New York opens close to the Asia low right there, we'll have chewed up these single prints pretty much, and would be pretty decent to just rock up there and hit it. All right. That's how I would see that. In terms of the big movers here, if we look at the alts, you know, it's looking pretty red here. All right. You've got ARK up 10%. That's pretty nice. Banana up almost 7. Broccoli, not today, my friend. Everybody's into bananas. Nobody wants broccoli in the morning. That's more of a dinner thing. 26%. Woo. Nasty. Yeah. And that's about it for the big shakers, I would say here. I haven't checked my buy bit list today yet because I was just heavily focused on the NASDAQ. And this is going to be a big story, really, is this, you know, let's see if Bitcoin can hold on to that sort of digital gold status, which I'm starting to highly disbelieve in personally, but that's just me. It's just a belief. It's got nothing to do with how I trade. It's just a belief. But if we continue to see gold just keep on pumping and stay above this 3,000 level, that's pretty bad for everything else. You know, when everybody's sticking their money in safe haven assets, it's not a good look. Definitely not a good look. Dixie up. So also not a great look for the market, but let's see if Dixie can turn that back around and head towards the downside. All right, so yeah, that is really the way I see it today. I don't like also the way that we have had now a bunch of up days, and then now we're printing a potential inside bar. We failed to take the previous day's high, huge selling tail again on the NASDAQ as well. We hit into it and, you know, down we go. So let's see if we come down and take out these lows, or if we actually put in our first real red day and have the beginning of the second leg of this move to the downside. All right, that's what I would say to that. NASDAQ and the legacy markets in general on the move to the downside, and Bitcoin trying to hold strong here, and I hope it does. It'd be really good, I think, for Bitcoin if it could, you know, not that it has to go put up an all-time high or anything, but at least just kind of shrug off the markets, come up here, finish off this butterfly pattern, and yeah, that would be fantastic. So that's going to do it, guys. That's pretty much it. Just a quick update. Looks like the internet is working quite well. Hervé, my friend, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, hope the internet is holding up. I'm going to go watch this now and see if there was any lagging or anything. Hopefully not. And I will be in the Discord in about well, like 45 minutes or so. And we'll see what we can get going on in there. Look for some live trades. All right, so yeah, I'm supposed to say join our Discord community. Hit the like button, please. It helps with the algorithm. I'm supposed to say something like that. And if you like what you see, subscribe. And I will see you all tomorrow for the Friday live stream. Take care, guys. Thank you so much. Be safe, be well, and take care.